Hey everyone, today we have the best news to update you on. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel and help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Write "Go All Blacks" in the comments. Title: All Blacks legend blasts show pony referee for disgraceful officiating in Springboks win. Murray Mexted has slammed the performances of the officials in the All Blacks' defeat to the Springboks. Former forward Murray Mexted has slammed the officiating during the Rugby Championship match between the Springboks and All Blacks. Mexted has urged World Rugby to look into the performance of English referee Matthew Carley and the laws of the game, as he believes that the flow of test matches are suffering. The 34-test cap former loose forward said that the officials were also under pressure in South Africa to look at the opposition closer than they do for the Springboks, which influenced the results in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Speaking on the platform NZ, Mexted laid into the performance of Carley, who he dubbed as a show pony, and said that the referee took away from the spectacle at Cape Town Stadium. If you are a fan of the All Blacks, write "Go All Blacks" in the comments and subscribe to the channel. I think that referees are under so much pressure in South Africa to be watching the opposition more than the South African team, Mexted said. That's forced by the officious pressure that comes on them from all and sundry. So they can't help it, but subconsciously they go on to the field looking for All Blacks mistakes. And whenever you look for mistakes, you'll find them. He continued, "I thought it was disgraceful refereeing in many respects. It was sort of an exhibition of how to keep control of a game, and that limits the rugby. When I look at it, I think the All Blacks didn't score a try. And I'm trying to think when the All Blacks never scored a try again. It's 6 or 7 years ago, so that's a reasonable amount of time. But I find it very hard to believe that the Boks scored the only 2 tries in the game." Mexted added, "When you look at the flow of the game, we only saw a little bit of flow in the All Blacks' favor. The Springboks made so many fundamental errors, drop balls. Knock-ons that they turned over quite a lot of possession from skill mistakes. I think there was only one fluid passage of play that I saw from the All Blacks team. It was a hell of a tense game and you couldn't take your eyes off it really, but I thought the show pony of the game was the referee." Law discussion. The Sam Cane infringement against the Springboks that referees must start penalizing more. Mexted believes that Carley's stronghold on the game needs to be looked at as it affected the All Blacks' performance. And he says that World Rugby needs to look at freeing up the game. "I thought that he ran the whole show, there's no doubt about that, which is a shame when you see the 2 best teams in the world play against each other. And the guy that you see most on the field is a referee. That's tragic," he added. "I think that World Rugby needs to look at that. We also had no control over that match. I thought we did really well in Cape Town, actually, to be in the race. But the whole game is influenced by the number of people, the number of penalties, and there are certainly some areas of the game that need to be looked at and freed up." Not off your referral. English ref hits out at All Blacks coach after suspected foul play. The 71-year-old said World Rugby should rather follow Sanzer and Super Rugby Pacific's lead, where he believes there is a more liberal approach to the laws, whereas the Northern Hemisphere referees are stricter as they are under the microscope. "We've spoken about if you play Super Rugby where Sanzer is saying let's be liberal and let the game flow to be a success and interesting and enjoyable for people to play and watch. Then you go into an international window, and you have British and European referees that are under the microscope all the time and used to blowing the whistle all the time and dominating the game." He concluded by saying, "Gone are the days when we couldn't remember who the referee was in the game, and I'd love to see that come back, but that's just my personal opinion." Read more. Sir John Kirwan hails the Springboks who remind him of the 2015 All Blacks. Murray Mexted believes that Scott Robertson didn't have a big enough pack to beat the Springboks. This week's law discussion also centers around Sam Cane's scrum penalty against the Springboks. The weekend's Rugby Championship and Pacific Nations Cup have also impacted the World Rugby rankings. Joe Schmidt has backed the controversial Nations Championship and reacts to the All Blacks and Springboks tours. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update about the All Blacks. We've got a lot of great content coming your way, from match analysis to behind-the-scenes coverage of the team's journey. You don't want to miss out on any of it. What do you think about Mexted's comments and the overall performance of the referee? Let us know in the comments below. Rassie Erasmus has pinpointed the reasons behind the Springboks lineout issues in the 18-12 victory over the All Blacks in Cape Town. While South Africa had their issues at the set piece, The Bok boss believes that there was another area of the game where they were comfortably the second-best team. If you are a fan of the All Blacks, write Go All Blacks in the comments and subscribe to the channel. The lineout is a traditional strength of South Africa. But on Saturday, the Bok struggled, with the usually accurate Bongi Mbonambi missing his jumper multiple times. This was surprising, given their unblemished record in previous matches in the Rugby Championship. However, the All Blacks clearly did their homework and applied pressure to the Springboks set piece. South Africa did manage to claim 13 of their 16 lineouts, but it wasn't a solid platform throughout the match. Rassie Erasmus pointed to the inexperience of Ruan Nortje as a key factor. Following injuries to key players like Franco Mostert, Lud de Jager, R.G. Snyman, and Jean Klein, Nortje was recalled to the team and featured against Australia before starting both tests against New Zealand. Saturday's clash was only his third appearance, and Erasmus believes this played a role in the lineout struggles, along with the fact that Nortje was given added responsibilities this week. It was just overthrown by the hooker, and sometimes they didn't even go up, so that's a timing issue, Erasmus explained. We have to understand that a guy like Ruan Nortje is early in his career, and it was only his second game against New Zealand. Last week, we had Pieter-Steph help him call the lineout, but this week it was solely on him, so he will have learned a lot, and the All Blacks did their homework and contested well. The lineout wasn't the only area where New Zealand had the upper hand. Erasmus admitted that the All Blacks got the better of his side at the breakdown, with Scott Robertson's men winning 9 turnovers. The scrum also proved challenging, with South Africa dominating the first 2 scrums, only for New Zealand to fight back in the next 2. Where we came totally second best was the breakdown. The lineouts weren't great, but at the breakdown they definitely overshadowed us, Erasmus said. Despite the setbacks, the win over the All Blacks put South Africa in a strong position in the Rugby Championship. However, Erasmus isn't getting carried away, expressing respect for the All Blacks and their immense achievements. We respect them immensely as a team, Erasmus said. Tony Brown put the haka and the way they think into perspective for us as a group, and that really helped us understand them better and also play better. Erasmus also touched on the significance of winning the Freedom Cup, which carries deep meaning for South Africa, especially in the current context. We spoke a lot about the Freedom Cup this week, and it means a lot for South Africa with where we are now, he said. This was also good for our hopes of winning the Castle Lager Rugby Championship, but we still have work to do. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any All Blacks updates. We're always bringing you the latest news, analysis, and insights from the world of rugby, and you won't want to miss out. What do you think of Erasmus' assessment of the Springboks' performance? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take.